Here we have a worksheet with some hypothetical accounting transactions. So I worked on a major company's accounting systems a few years ago. This is a simplified version of what some of the transactions might look like. So you have an ID that's composed of various pieces of data. In a big corporation, you might have several companies. So we've got a 4-digit company code. You've got a 6-digit cost center, 8-digit account code, and a 2-digit recovery indicator. And I'm not going to go into those definitions because I can't stand accounting, but that is what it is. Okay, so we've got these different pieces of data all embedded in here. Now we could extract them somehow, like using left. We could take the transaction ID 4. We could do right 2 to get the recovery indicator. We could do that. That would work. That would be fine. But we can use one of my favorite features in Excel, the text to columns, to extract this data into separate columns for us automatically. This is going to overwrite some of our data. It's going to split this data up. So we're going to take this and divide it into different parts. So we're going to kind of not have a copy of the original. If we wanted a copy, we could copy this column and paste it into a new column, then separate the values. But in this case, I'm gonna end up with 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So I'm gonna need space for 1, 2, 3, 4 places to put this data. That's why I inserted 3 new columns here. So I'm gonna select that data, and then I'm going to go to my data tab, and I'm going to do text to columns. Now there's 2 ways we can do this. We can actually use either in this instance because they're formatted very well. I guess you could say they're both delimited by a fixed width, and they're also delimited by a character. So I have a dash. So it would be most appropriate here to use the dash delimiter. That way I can just get rid of that dash. So I'm going to click next. And there's different common delimiters used here. I'm going to choose other because the dash is not listed as an option. So I'm going to hit the dash there. You can see when I do that, Excel gives me a data preview. So you'll see that those dashes disappear and they're replaced by these vertical lines, which represent just different columns that they'll go in the worksheet. So that looks good. I'm going to click next. How do I want to format these? Well, these should all be text. If I treat this as a number, Excel will change 0218 to the number 218, and I'm going to lose that leading 0. I want that leading 0 there. So I'm going to make each one of these be text. So I'll retain all of those leading zeros. And so I'm going to click Finish, and here we go. Across. It says number stored as text. Yeah, I know. Ignore that because misleading error. Excel's trying to be helpful, but it's not in this case. All right, so now I have all of those values in different columns. Now I can resize them. I would probably want to put the correct labels here: cost center, account, recovery indicator. Format them. But now I've got each piece of data separately. So then I could sort, filter, do all that stuff based off of the values in the different parts of that transaction ID. So very useful feature, that text to columns.